Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. She's a beauty of a morning here this morning. T-shirt weather even. The last 2 days it's just been hurricane force winds. Been quite awful. Anyways, first things first, gotta get the turkeys, take them for a walk. New food, new water, onto fresh grass. Hopefully the insurance company calls today and we can deal with this. It's a real funky week. Happened on a weekend. Monday's a working day. Tuesday's a holiday. Who knows what happens after that. So I'm hoping we can deal with this morning. And then obviously won't have anything tomorrow. But it'd be really great if we could get this thing like out of here by next weekend. That maybe is too much of a wish, I'm not sure. So you can see how much manure and feathers they leave behind and how much of the grass they took off. You can see by what's next to it, how much they've stripped it down. And we always just leave a strip. You can kind of see right here, like a 6-inch strip between, just for science really, just to see the growth phases. This is already starting to, that's what they started way up there. Within about 2 weeks, that'll look like that stuff right there. Lush, juicy, tall. It's actually quite incredible. I kind of wish you could do this. Well, you can do this by the thousands out in the field. Guy would just need the time to do it. I'm small beans. I don't have the time and the resources to be able to do it. But if a guy won the lottery, you sure could make a living out of farming turkeys and tractors. That's the challenge nowadays. Is a guy needs so much startup capital to make anything a go. I was just talking about that with a coworker of mine the other day. He's very similar. Got a quarter of land, trying to make a living off of it, and we both agree, like, if there was ever a point where we could cross that threshold where we could actually make a living, raise kids, and just off of farming, we would do it. But starting from ground zero, we're at a natural disadvantage because, well, I mean, first off, we didn't inherit any land or machinery, so you're starting with payments, right? You're starting with payments before you have any proceeds. Extremely difficult. So you farm with old stuff. You farm with old stuff that, well, it's not going to be great. So then you're also starting with parts. And they always say that parts are payments, but sometimes when you're first starting out, if you're first generation, you're parts and payments. And that's a tough spot to be in. That's one thing about poultry, is they are filthy creatures. Turkeys, ducks, chickens. Chickens are probably the cleanest, but the turkeys, I don't know why they do. Oh, I got to roost on top of the water bucket and poop right in the little thing where we're all gonna drink from. Same with the feeder. I had to put that little bucket over top to stop them from pooping right in the top of the food bucket. I don't know, maybe if a guy rigged up some roosts or something in the chicken tractor or the turkey tractor, maybe that would work. I think the intent was to try and keep this light and not have to do that. But for the sake of hygiene, maybe you guys got to do something like that. I'm not sure. This right here, same garden hose that I tried to put that fire out with. Needless to say, I was unsuccessful, unfortunately. What I was successful in doing with the garden hose was saving the shop. Because, I mean, the camper's right here, raging inferno. And the tin was crinkling. It never changed color. I got lots of water on it. But the snowmobile, plastic on the tunnel and the hood all melted. That plastic jug melted. We got a roll of mulch there. It just melted. So it was like spraying water, and it was just steam just flying off of that thing. And I'm left with, I just got one crinkle in the tin. Is the only remnant of that fire. You can kind of see up there where the seam is. There's a crinkle in it. Other than that, everything went back to its shape that it's supposed to be. So I'm really thankful for that, because when we first moved here, this was the first building we built. And we literally poured our life savings into that. We borrowed money to buy the land, poured our life savings into building the shop to put equity into the land. So that then, of course, that then increases the land value and allowed us to get a mortgage the following year to build the house. So when we lived in there for the first year, well, no, the first year we actually lived in, not this RV, but we lived in a different one that we had before, a smaller one, before we had kids. And it was parked, same spot actually, right? Maybe a little bit further out that way. It was parked right here, looked out over the lake. We lived in that for the first bit while we built the shop. The first snowfall fell. I was arguing with Atco Gas over whether they would turn the gas on or not. And I said, well, it's going to snow tonight. We're going to need heat. And they were all worried about an electrical outlet that was within 1 meter of the gas meter. And I said, well, I'll just lock it out. And that electrical outlet's still locked out to this day, in fact. And I've never used it. And the whole point is a 30 amp plug-in for the RV. Never used it. So that's wild. Anyways, so didn't want that to burn down.